Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to Dino Under the Bonnet. Um, I've owned Aston Martins, delivered cars all over Europe, and spent decades in the motor trade. Yet, one trip to Switzerland remains one of the most bizarre experiences I've ever had. It involves a DB6, an Aston Martin DB6, a transporter, customs, a very unusual buyer, the smelliest cheese I have ever encountered, a hand towel masquerading as a bath towel. And when I say a hand towel, it's not quite a hand towel, it's a face cloth. And eventually, hallucinations on the way home. So, welcome to Dino Under the Bonnet. I'm going to tell you a story of driving through Switzerland with an Aston Martin. What could possibly go wrong? I tell you. Right. Well, it's one of the strangest trips I've ever taken. So, it involves a gentleman who purchased a DB6. It was mine, and I said to one of my technicians, I said, "Wouldn't it be great if we just drove across to Switzerland?" And what could possibly go wrong? I said, it would be great adventure. And I absolutely love an adventure. Or, well, yeah, I still do, but it's not that easy. Anyway, so we decided to take it ourselves and we hired a transporter. And looking back, it seems straightforward. So you hire a transporter, you go across, you drop it off in Switzerland, and you drive back. Little did we know. The Aston Martin DB6 is special. Of course, it's not the Bond one, which is DB5. In my opinion, the DB6 is a better car. I think it drives better. It's a little bit more leg room in the back, so you can pull the seat back further, or push the seat back further, should I say. And I thought, let's do this. Let's get the car, stick it on a transporter. So we hired it, got the car on the transporter, and we set off with excitement and optimism. And we drove happily down to the crossing at Dover. Everything was already booked, and thankfully all the paperwork was in order. So you're not able just to trip across to Switzerland. Mind you, this is going back when we were in the EU, so. Yeah, it was slightly easier, although it felt extremely difficult. And thankfully, I never did the paperwork, or it would have never have got there. So we're excited, and as we're driving down the motorway, people are giving us the thumbs up, and we pull into the motorway station. And of course, you have to be very careful. Somebody has to stay with the car. Somebody goes to the bathroom, come back, food. Somebody always has to be with the car. That was one of the key things that we said to each other. Somebody's got to stay with the car. So people would come up to us and ask us questions, where we're going. And it seemed so straightforward. And the crossing of the channel was great because I'd never been on the underground. Well, I call it the underground. It's not. It's the Channel Tunnel, and it's quite interesting because we weren't classified as a normal car, although the transporter wasn't that big that we hired, and yet we got put with the lorries, and you are not allowed to stay with the vehicle. So you had to say stay with a bunch of rather large truckers. But we're still extremely happy and laughing. This is a great road trip, and it was a wonderful atmosphere. We were laughing and joking, and as soon as we arrived in France, it was great, and yet again. The French people were wonderful. They were giving us the thumbs up and saying, "Oh, it's great to see an Aston Martin." Many people have never seen one, and they're very, very similar. DB6 and the DB5 to look at. The way you can distinguish, by the way, the difference between a DB5 and a DB6 on a quick pop is the words escape me sometimes, so I'll do a bit of a fill in. No, bumpers. So it's the bumpers that give it away, and the rear of the DB6 has a little whale tail at the back. So that's another indicator. So it was wonderful arriving in France, and then a quick trip into the tunnel and across to Switzerland. And as we're both sat on either side of the cab, one of us was driving, obviously, and what we did, we were like just two little boys, and we pushed the buttons down on the. I'm saying pushing the buttons down, showing you, just in case if you didn't know, and opening the windows as we went through the tunnel, and listening to the very feeble, noisy engine, and unfortunately we were in the transporter, so it didn't make a good enough noise for us. But it was instantaneous. We didn't look at each other, and we both giggled how funny that was. And now it's getting a bit hot, and we had no problem at all with the customs in France. No, away you on, off you go. You don't know what you're doing. And we arrived at the border in Switzerland, and first impressions, it's very clean. Very clean indeed. And you think, oh, this is okay. This is okay. I can handle this. Until the guard said, "We'd like you to come with us." And we both looked at each other. Don't really want to go with anybody. But as they had machine guns, and they were very smart, and they wanted both of us to go into the office, there wasn't really any escape. So off we went. And it is a terrifying experience, because all of a sudden you think, have I done something wrong? I haven't stolen the car, it's my car. And I've sold it. I've sold it to this gentleman in Switzerland, and they're obviously very diligent, which is okay. That's really good. You can be as diligent as you want, but let us go, please. Right. So after a nerve-wracking, I would say about an hour. Then we need to get on here. Time is ticking, and it's really, really warm. It's really warm, which I didn't think was something that would happen in Switzerland. For some reason, all I'm thinking about is Toblerone and the Heidi and the wonderful areas of Switzerland. So they eventually let us through, but they did remark that the buyer has to present himself to the police station, as there is, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that it was an extra 20% of the sale price that he had to pay. Otherwise, the car will be impounded. Thankfully, this gentleman was a very lovely man indeed. And you know, there'd be nothing wrong. So off we went in Switzerland. Now at this point, the weather's really hot, and Switzerland is beautiful, but all of a sudden, the trip was, let's say, well, we wanted to just get on now. We've had enough of this, and it's taken, about 14 hours, I think. It's a long time, and it's really hot, and we were relieved in some way when we arrived that this lovely gentleman was there, and he was he said, "Oh, wonderful, you've arrived safe." We told him about the bad news of customs pulling us to one side and saying, you have to come with us. But he was a lawyer, so everything was fine. And he said, well, look, you've travelled an awful long way. Would you like a quick shower? Yeah, that's awfully kind. I said, sorry, we haven't brought any towels. And he said, oh, don't worry. I've got some towels for you. And you're very welcome to have a shower. We thought, that's a really lovely idea. We'll have a shower, get on the road and go back. So he was, I was going to say lovely shower. And no, we didn't shower together. No. The other chap went first, and the gentleman went upstairs and handed him a towel and said, here you are, Dino can go next. And as I don't want to say his name, let's say Mr. X, who was with me, was walking down the stairs, and he was looking at me, shaking his head. He's going, no, don't go there. And I thought, no, what can go wrong? So I had a towel and put my head round the corner and said, excuse me, I don't have a towel. And he said, oh, don't worry. And he brought a face cloth in. He said, look, I'll just leave your clothes here. And I said, no, I'll keep my clothes here. And he gave me this face towel to wipe myself with. Now I understood why my colleague was shaking his head as he was coming down. And we were just thinking to ourselves, this is bizarre. But maybe that's what happens in Switzerland. I don't know. So I came back downstairs, and then all of a sudden, he sprung up from his chair and he says, boys, why don't you stay with me? I'm clapping my hands. He didn't clap his hands. He wasn't a monkey. He said, why don't you stay with us? Stay the night. We'll have some drinks. And we said, oh, no. We're going to have to get off, because we were a little bit nervous at this point. And he said, now, come on, boy. I've got the hot tub and I've turned the hot tub on. And he said, come in there. But I said, oh, sorry, we haven't got any trunks, and the towel was a bit small that you gave us. He said, no, don't worry. In Switzerland, we all go naked in the hot tub now. I'm thinking to myself, I'm scared. I really want to get out of here. I really do. And we said, no, sorry, we've got to go. And we got a lesson in wine for some bizarre reason before we left, as that's what was the norm, apparently. And it was absolutely utter relief to move out of the lounge and anywhere near a hot tub and get on the road back. As well as being tired and being absolutely terrified, as it could have been a scene from Deliverance or the other one with Tarantino. Where he's downstairs. Oh man, that could have been really bad, really bad. And I realised at this point this isn't a typical customer. But politeness, I love always to be polite, honest, and I'll say what it's like. So it was welcome, the shower, the tiny hand towel, and trying to remain a gentleman through all of this is very important. So with absolute delight, we dropped the car off, turn it on, yeah, it's very good. Yeah, we have to go. Off we went. Through Switzerland. We couldn't get out of there faster. Now, Switzerland is a beautiful country and extremely clean. And they have a fantastic border patrol service. I just said to my colleague, hey, hey, I never say hey. Why don't we go a different way and let's drive through Dijon? I honestly had it in my head that, do you know what? I would actually love some Dijon mustard and some bread. And I thought, well, we're in France and we'll go to Dijon and have some mustard. Maybe even some cheese. Bring some cheese home for the wife. She'll enjoy that, and it's special. And we stopped at how do you say it? Boulangerie? No, that sounds like lingerie. A baker's shop. I'm trying to think of my O-level French now. All I can think of, le singe est dans l'arbre. The monkey is in the tree. Perhaps he very well is. But we did find a baker's and a mustard shop, which of course they would have because it's in Dijon and Dijon mustard. And I was so sad to see the mustard was the same as you get here. It was so sad to see it. But I still got it. I think, okay. Remember some wonderful things of your journey. So I've got some mustard, I bought some bread and some cheese. Now, with the heat, and I think it was about 30 degrees at this time, I think, and we had the cheese in the cab, and this started to get very warm, and the smell that was coming off it was just astonishing. So we came up with a bright idea. How do we stop the smell of the cheese? Well, it's quite simple, really. You obviously stop and you you put the cheese or you strap the cheese to the back of the transporter. So and honestly, this is the truth, and this did happen. So we strapped the cheese to the back, and we thought, wonderful, no no smell in the cab now. It's just of some very strange potion that we had in the shower, separately, of course. But we're getting very hot. And the cheese is strapped to the back, and you're getting some odd looks. Now we've been driving straight. It must be 18 hours now, and at last we arrive to the port, and we get on to again. Now the time is. I remember it was like about 2 o'clock in the morning when we got back to the port to go under the Channel Tunnel, and we didn't have anything on the back apart from cheese. And this cheese is a block like that, white, and these things, looking back, and you think, oh, yeah, they would have been very suspicious. But at the time, I thought to myself, no, it'll be fine. We just get across. We've got the cheese on the back and not in the cab, and we'll go and sit with some truckers, which we didn't have. Obviously, the car going back, but we said, "Oh no, we'll sit with the truckers and see what it would be like just to get on the road and be fine." So. It was absolutely fine. The French, just let you through, and what we were so tired, we actually fell asleep. Myself and the colleague, one on the other shoulder and the other shoulder, and we fell asleep all the way back through the tunnel, and it was the most bizarre experience because you can feel the chugging. it's not the rocket, and by meaning the rocket, the Stevenson strain doesn't chug. No, but you can still feel the journey, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And if it doesn't, well, I apologize. Anyway, so we arrive at Dover. That's right. Yeah, and we jump into the jump, more like waddle, or as it's feeling so tired. Because it's been a continuous journey, and we've just woken up, and you feel like your mouth has been hoovered, because we haven't really stopped for something to eat, and it wasn't hoovered because somebody came around. Can you imagine somebody coming around with the hoover, and cleaning the inside of your mouth? No, that does not happen. So we arrived at. Sorry, I digress. I just think, as I'm even speaking to you, telling you about this amazing adventure, how bizarre it sounds. So we got to the bottom. The the border patrol say, "We'd like you to come over here, please." Well, why? So, what have you been doing in Switzerland? I say, well, I'd rather not say what we've been up to in Switzerland, apart from dropping off a car. And they said, you have something on the back of your transporter? Yeah, we do. We have some cheese. You have cheese? Yeah, we got some cheese. Right. Why have you got some cheese strapped to the back of your transporter? I said, oh, come on. We got it in Dijon and it got really hot and we just couldn't stand the smell. So we strapped it to the back of the transporter so we couldn't smell it. And he said, you do realise that it's a block of white cheese? Yeah, it's a block of white cheese. So we'd like you to come with us. And it was absolute horror at that point because you suddenly realise, oh no, I bet they think we're smuggling drugs. And we were sat next to each other whilst they were performing their tests on the cheese, thinking, oh no, we're going to get interfered with here. I'm a bit too young to be interfered with like this. And I honestly, officer, I'm not really a smuggler. And it is cheese. And that's all we've got. We've got cheese. And thankfully, after testing, that was fine. He said, yeah, you can carry on. But there was always this thing with the customs that they didn't believe us that we would have cheese strapped to the back of our transporter. But look, off we were going home now, and it was a wonderful journey, but that wasn't the end. And the journey coming back was because we pushed so hard and we were swapping drivers, not other drivers, but with ourselves, who was taking control of driving back. Something really odd, which has never happened since, and that was hallucinations. Now, we both, because you're going along a road, and many of you will know this, that sometimes when you go along the road and you say to yourself, I feel like I'm going downwards. Well, I'm hoping that some of you think that you're actually driving down because it's nighttime and you're so tired, and you put the brakes on because I remember putting the brakes on and my colleague waking up and go, what's wrong? I said, oh, we're going down. He said, no, we're just carrying on straight. And it was so hard to get that information out of your head, and it was because we were extremely tired, and tiredness does kill and cause hallucinations. I wouldn't recommend it at all. As when we swapped over, my colleague said that there was somebody on cycling down the motorway. And one of the most bizarre things that I've ever experienced, and we both experienced the same, was the big windmills that turn around and going like that. The big that Trump doesn't like. Well, that's another story, isn't it? Oof. When we were driving back, so we were coming obviously back up north, which is the best place. As we were driving up, we saw the windmills in the distance just spinning around, and we both thought that it was aliens, the huge aliens moving around like this and like that. And it was absolutely terrifying. And so when we got back, we realized how dangerous fatigue can be, and hard lessons were learnt. And looking back, the DB6 arrived safely. The customer got his car. We got home, luckily. But it was one of the most memorable times of my life. Um, well, lessons that I could have learned. Do your due diligence when you're transporting cars. Check your paperwork, that's all in order. And well, the other side is you just never realise who a person is just from looking at them. You'll never know what a person's like. So do your due diligence, but take a risk, have a go, do something else, think out of the box. Do something inspiring that makes a difference and enjoy it. Enjoy yourself. And speaking of enjoying yourself, there we are. Clip Dino's Deal of the Week. And as it's Father's Day, I've been looking around and seeing what deals are out there. If you're looking for a gift for Father's Day, and I've come up with a few ones that I think are exceptional deals for Father's Day. Auto Glim is excellent for your bodywork, and we're not your body, but your car's bodywork, and wheels. A battery charger. It's a really good idea. And the Autoglim wash and protect stuff. There's some fabulous deals out there. I've pinpointed them, not pinpointed them. I've attached them at the end of this podcast show. If you do want to have a get them, obviously we do make a small. What would you call it? A small something, a small amount of money from suggesting these things, but they are really, really good deals, and they'll be there for just a short time, and just have a look, and spend a few minutes looking. So one final thought. When somebody hands you a towel, do ask the size of it before taking a shower and not after. I've been Dino. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you keep on listening. I've got so many bizarre stories, ideas, thoughts, deals, which I really like telling you about. Thank you for listening. If it's your first time listening, please press subscribe. It's free. I don't earn anything from it. So I look forward to doing another one. I've been Dino under the bonnet. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks now.